Good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Call this meeting to order. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please. Here.
Present.
Here.
Mike on here. Mrs. Gatto. Mayor Chelik.
Present.
Mr. Tobin.
Present.
And Mrs. Frabel.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, now this is the annual reorganization meeting for the Land Bank. So the next item of business is the election of officers. So I will declare that the nominations are open for office of vice chairman. So do we have a motion to nominate someone as vice chairman?
I'll nominate Commissioner Chermak for vice chairman.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can everyone turn their mics on? The ones that are not.
Okay. Okay, Pat Tobin seconded on the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and Commissioner Chermak has been elected vice chairman. Okay. Okay, also the nominations are open for the treasurer. So is there a motion to nominate someone for treasurer?
The current treasurer is Pat Tobin.
Okay. Hi, Pat.
How are you?
Good.
I'll nominate Pat.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there-
Second.
There's a second. On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and Pat Tobin is continuing on as the treasurer. Congratulations, Pat. Okay. Also, will entertain a motion to nominate someone for the secretary of the board.
Marion Gatto is the current secretary.
Okay.
I nominate Marion Gatto.
Okay. Very
I'll
good.
second.
Okay. On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the Marion Gatto is continuing on as the secretary. Thank you very much. Okay, that completes the slate of officers as being duly elected for the term of 1 year. Good? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Seeing that there is nobody here, we'll move on to the minutes. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our December 11th, 2024 meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. I'll entertain a motion to approve the vouchers from December 12th, 2024 through January 15th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
On the question,
Aye.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the vouchers have been approved. Ralph, no bid openings?
No, not at this time.
Okay. On to discussion items. The first one is the land bank property disposition update.
Yes, there really hasn't been much of a change because of the holidays since the last meeting, but I will, just for the public's sake, I'll review everything to date. The land bank has conveyed 376 properties countywide to date. In the city of Scranton, we have conveyed 265 properties, 8 properties pending, and 2 properties will be acted on at today's meeting. Just a breakdown by sections of the city. In West Scranton, there were 80 properties conveyed. In South Scranton, 67 properties conveyed. North Scranton, 66 properties conveyed. The Green Ridge section, 23 properties conveyed. In East Scranton, 17 properties conveyed. We have conveyed 3 properties to the city of Scranton. We've conveyed 3 properties to United Neighborhood Community Development Corporation, 5 properties to Scranton Lackawanna Resource Development Corporation, 1 property to Ronald McDonald House, 58 properties in Covington Township have been conveyed, and 1 property will be acted on at today's meeting. Carbondale City, we have conveyed 19 properties. In Vanling, 1 property has been conveyed. Fell Township, 4 properties conveyed. Through Borough, 2 properties conveyed. Scott Township, 6 properties conveyed. Thornhurst Township, 5 properties, Jefferson Township, 1 property, Dunmore Borough, 2 properties, Archibald Borough, 2 properties, and Blakely Borough, 1 property.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Okay. Moving on, next up is the Blight Task Force update.
Again, we really don't have any updates yet. We have been in conversations with NeighborWorks regarding that Watson Street property, and in the near future, we hope to get an engineer in there to look at it, just to see if there's anything that really can be done. I know Kristen and I just got an email from Shane from NeighborWorks, and within the near future, we should be meeting out there and just see if it's feasible to do something with it.
Okay. Very good. Any questions? Okay. Next up is request for permission to sell former land bank-owned properties prior to the end of the 5-year retention policy.
Okay, for this meeting, we have received 2 requests. The first request I'll review is, received an email from a property owner who bought the property through the land bank, and that property is in Thornhurst Township on Tulip Lane, Lot 24. He wants to sell his house that's right next to the lot that he bought off of the land bank. And when he sells the house, he would like to sell that empty lot with it. And I think we know that, he has to keep it a separate lot. In the past, in my email to the board, I just outlined all the conditions that have been made in the past. And it's really up to the board if they want to allow him to sell the property under the conditions that we have stated in the past.
So if I understand you correctly, he could sell it, but it has to be sold as a separate property. It can't be.
Again, because the land bank gets half the taxes for those 5 years,
Okay.
and we want to make sure that, we have control over that.
Okay. And has this happened before in the land bank where people have, or is this a first?
As far as what, Commissioner?
As far as someone who tries to sell before the 5-year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Some of them have been approved so far.
Okay.
Okay. Right. And if you want me to read the conditions, for this property. The prospective purchaser who's ever purchasing the property is identified for the land bank to review for proper vetting to make sure that they don't owe any taxes in the county. A copy of the color copy of the prospective purchaser's government-issued ID, their driver's license, passport, or real ID must be submitted. The property must be sold at the same price the original purchaser paid for the property, plus any approved eligible expenses incurred to date. And these would be costs only related to the improvements on the lot only. Past and current property taxes, assessment fees cannot be included in the selling price, and the seller must present for approval copies of invoices, canceled checks related to the improvements. The new owner must also agree not to sell, transfer, or convey the property for a 5-year period from the date it was sold to the original purchaser. So that date would have to be included in the deed to the new purchaser. And a copy of the deed and the settlement statement must be submitted to the land bank prior to closing for us to review.
Okay. Very good.
Do we have to wait for a motion and second?
I think
It's
after
on.
they hit the, we could do a motion today to get the process started, but then we'd issue a resolution when all the condition precedents are met.
Right.
I have a discussion item on this issue, though. And
Okay.
when we got the first one, we went through the procedures and we effectuated the property owner then being able to sell it. But it seems we're getting more and more of these requests. And every time we get a request to sale within that 5-year period, it involves some work on the part of the executive director to certify all the conditions are met. So I'm wondering if there should be an administrative fee, say of $250, for somebody that wants to acquire the property and then sell it within that 5-year period, with the caveat that maybe the directors could waive the fee in certain extenuating circumstances. But it seems now, these people, when they're buying this property, they're getting a bargain. And all of a sudden, within this 5 years, they want to sell the property again, and they have to go through procedures. But it's work on our executive director's part. And maybe if we had a little fee of $250, maybe that would be something that would prevent arbitrary transfer of property during that 5-year period. So whatever anybody else thinks, that's my opinion.
It can be done, you can't implement it on this particular one, but it would
No.
have to be, before they purchase, but I have no problem with that. On the other hand, you can't hold people hostage either if their job moves or they have to leave and,
Yeah, but I'm looking
But
at these two.
I know
that-
what you're saying, I agree
The
with,
second one seems to have extenuating
right,
circumstances.
I get it.
This one doesn't.
Well, we don't know the circumstances, other
Well,
than he's
yeah,
selling
but-
his house, but yeah.
Still, there should be something there that it acts sort of as like a little preventive measure.
Yeah.
A $250 fee is not a lot. We are dealing with lots. I mean, I didn't mean to be that as a pun.
So can you, Attorney Kobasani, look into, see what other, if there's anything that other land banks do in terms of this, the idea that Mayor Chelik has, number one, and then number two, the amount, like, would it be legal for, because I just remember being on city council that you had,
Yeah.
that you have to,
You have to justify the fee.
you have to justify the fee, yeah, so it can't be, it's an interesting idea, I think if you could just look at, if we could do it.
We can we'll look
Yeah.
into that, definitely. Okay.
Anybody else on that?
I like the idea.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so do I. Okay. Okay, and then the second property you wanted to talk about too, right?
Right. The second one, as everyone has read in the email, it's a hardship case, and it really, more or less, they'd have to sell that property under the same conditions that I mentioned before. So does anybody have any questions on it? Now, again, okay, I'll read the property is at WD 3, 419 Dogwood Lane in Covington Township. The tax map number is 227-01-020-419. So,
Okay. Okay, so the next move then would be to make a motion to allow them to sell the properties and to have him prepare a resolution for the next meeting, right?
right, if they get it to us. I mean, it might take a while for them to find a buyer even, so it might be, a couple
Okay.
meetings from now. But just like in the one resolution that we have here now, the board did approve the sale of that one, and that person met everything. So at this meeting, the board will hopefully approve the sale because Joe and I reviewed everything they submitted to us, and they met the conditions.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So I'll entertain a motion to have the board approve the sale of those properties contingent upon the conditions that have to be met.
Right.
Okay. Anybody willing to make that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Is there a second
I'll second.
on the question? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion has been approved. Okay. Next up is the Advisory Committee Property Acquisition Disposition Discussion.
Okay, if everyone wants to take a look at their paper with the colored pictures of the aerial views of the properties. The first one is a property in the city of Scranton on Ferdinand Street. There's no set address on that, but it's above the Kaiser Avenue. And if you look at it, you can see there is a paper street going up there. There's no utilities, there's no roadway. But we received the application from Ryan Nat from 1220 Lloyd Street. He plans on cleaning up the property for future investment. There are no other additional applications received for the property, and he submitted an offer of $500 for the property under the property purchase program. Now, again, he does know that the city is not going to do anything as far as bringing utilities or bringing the roadway up there. That would be entirely upon him. Or anything that, the land bank does own properties above it as well. So, you never know, maybe a developer might come in here and maybe sometime do that.
Is that a right-of-way going up through there?
There it is, it's an extension of Ferdinand Street.
So that
of
is like
Paper
those
Street.
lines are, yep.
Right, right.
A lot of times the paper streets have no, they're there, but there's no.
Yeah, right. If you look, you can see where the roadway ends, right at that last house there. The next one is at 409 Wilbur Street in the city of Scranton. We received a purchase application from Cole Cardona of 439 Wilbur Street in Scranton. Mr. Cardona just lives up the street, and he just says he's tired of seeing the illegal dumping on the property, and he wants to clean it up. He did submit an offer of $500 for the property under the property purchase program.
Ralph, I have a question on this one. And I don't know if you'd know this offhand, but is that a buildable lot? Like, can you build a home on that? Or
Yes.
is it too small? Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 50 feet wide.
okay. Thank you.
There, you can even build a house on a 40-foot lot, and I know some of the land bank properties up on Harrison Avenue, they have been developed. Of course, they have to get a variance depending on setbacks and things like that, but yeah, this would be a good one. The next one would be a property in Covington Township. This would be Oak Place, WD 115. We received a purchase application from Ludwig Fleming of Kunkletown, PA. Mr. Fleming plans to just place an RV on the property and use as recreation. Again, this property is at Eagle Lake. So he submitted an offer of $500 for the property under the property purchase program. That's the only three for this meeting. They have been, we have been discussed with our advisory committee meeting, and Todd, if you want, yeah.
Yep, yeah, our advisory committee had a chance to review all of these. They seem pretty straightforward, and we'd recommend you proceed with the sale of these three properties.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay. Okay, next up are the resolutions. First up is resolution number 25-01. This is approving the acquisition of additional property from the tax claim office repository list of unsold property. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
On the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution number 25-002, this is approving the conveyance of certain land bank-owned property under the property purchase program. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
I'll second.
On the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution number 25-003, this is a resolution granting permission to seller convey a property previously acquired from the land bank under the 5-year property retention policy after certain conditions are met. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
On the question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved.
Commissioner, this is the property that I was talking about as far as,
Okay.
they did submit everything, and both Joe and I reviewed the documentation, and everything is good, so that's why we would
Okay.
recommend approving it.
Okay, very good. Opportunity for the public to address the board? Directors, other business? Anyone have anything? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
On the question, the next scheduled land bank meeting is February 12th, 2025 at 11 a.m. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.